Oh, and welcome to this talk, Tuesday the 8th of October. Now, Mr Russell Broadbent is the Member of Parliament in Australia for Monash, the constituency where the new Pfizer factory is under development. And he's written to the Prime Minister of Australia asking for the suspension of Moderna products. Could Australia be the first country to suspend all mRNA products? It's really hard to see how the Prime Minister of Australia can ignore what I'm about to show you on this video. Now, we're going to be looking at this letter here to the Prime Minister, and it's going to be based on this evidence here, largely from Canada but other places. There's another letter that we're also going to look at. These are of immense significance. Now, just to let you decide if you want to watch this video, it's Mr Russell Broadbent, the Member of Parliament for Monash, is written to Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia. Now, what he says is this. This is from Mr Broadbent's website. In short, there is compelling evidence that synthetic foreign DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, encapsulated in lipid nanoparticles can integrate into human cells. So what he's saying is reasonably straightforward. We have human cells here. These are the cells that billions of cells that comprise our body. And the lipid nanoparticles can absorb onto the membrane of our cells. The membranes of our cells are lipid. The lipid nanoparticles are obviously lipid. Now, we know that this allows the RNA to get in, which is the way that these genetic products are supposed to generate immunity. But now we also know that the DNA contamination, which is not supposed to be there, can also get in. So we end up with the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA in the cells where it's not supposed to be, this DNA contamination. So this is the concern, and the implications of this are potentially quite frightening, really. So in short, there is compelling evidence that excessive synthetic foreign DNA, so again, synthetic, this is foreign DNA getting into our cells, encapsulated in lipid nanoparticles, can integrate into human cells. And to me, that science makes perfect sense. And I know it does to other leading scientists around the world that I've talked to. Not that I'm putting myself in that category, and not by any means, but I've talked to many leading scientists around the world who agree that this is what happens. Potentially leading to genetic instability, cancers, immune system disruption, and adverse hereditary effects. Now, this is from Mr. Broadbent. Whether we're allowed to publish this or not, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I again urge the Prime Minister to immediately suspend the rollout pending an urgent investigation, one which allows for free and open scientific discourse. So we need free and open scientific discourse to, one, help uncover the true facts. Now, is there anyone out there, I don't know, who might be listening, insert name under this, who could possibly, at least publicly, disagree with this, that we need free and open scientific discourse? Now, some people might think they don't want free and open scientific discourse because it might reveal things that they don't want. But publicly, I don't think anyone in the world could say, well, you know what? I don't want free, open scientific discourse. Of course, this is what we need. Now, let's get to these letters now. That's the main thing that this video is about. And of course, as always, all the links are there. Click on that. Make sure I'm not making this up. This information is all now public domain, which is why we're free to discuss it, of course. So here we have one letter from, this is to the Prime Minister of Australia. We, the undersigned, are writing to seek an immediate and urgent investigation following the discovery of DNA contamination in messenger RNA COVID vaccines in Australia. Now, these are generic Moderna and Pfizer products. The idea that there's a big problem in Australia and no problem at all in the United States or the United Kingdom is unlikely. Let's carry on. On the 18th of September 2024, an alarming report was released by Canadian virologist Dr. David Speicher confirming significant synthetic DNA contamination in Pfizer and Moderna Covid-19 vaccines used in Australia. A copy of the report is attached, and we're also linking that report there that you can look at for your own perusal. Let's carry on with this first letter before we look at the second one. The findings indicate DNA contamination levels up to 145 times. Incredible, 145 times higher than Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration TGA safely limits. These findings have also been replicated in Germany, Canada and the United States. This information adds to the growing safety concern surrounding these vaccines. Now, I'm going to leave that there. You can download it for yourself and read it, perfectly readable. Australians deserve answers. We strongly recommend that the use of all COVID-19 vaccines in Australia be immediately suspended, while an urgent, independent investigation is established to understand the broader implications for Australians of the erstwhile widespread use of these products. And again, this is not just an Australia problem by any means. Let's have a brief look at another letter that is sent here. This one. So this was the latest one of the 25th of September. I refer to my letter of the 20th of September calling for the government to immediately suspend the use of Pfizer and Moderna Covid-19 products due to evidence of significant synthetic DNA contamination. Again, this really can't be. I don't think the Prime Minister can ignore this. This is such high profile now. Unlike the Thalidomide tragedy, which of course resulted in these appallingly deformed babies, this severe teratogenic effect that happened. Unlike the Thalidomide tragedy, which resulted in over 10,000 victims globally, the COVID-19 vaccines have been administered to more than 20 million Australians. I don't know how many around the world. Billions. Totaling over 63 million doses. The contamination detected in these vaccines, if not addressed, presents a substantial risk with the potential for these dangers, such as genomic integration, the DNA getting into human genomes, is a concern, and potential long-term health impacts to multiply with each additional dose administered. Immediate action through a suspension of these products is critical to mitigate future risk. And again, read the whole letter there. It's all available. And let's just see, is this the one? Yeah, so here we have some of the signatories. And what we notice is we've got world-leading medical professors. Now, I met several of these people personally and interviewed them. Professor Robert Clancy, Professor Wendy Hoy, Professor Angus Dalgleish. These are world scientists of the highest caliber. I mean, Professor Dalgleish, Professor Hoy, and Professor Clancy are all lifelong physicians. I've had the privilege of talking with all of them. I've haven't met Angus Dalgleish personally, but we've done several interviews. These are the world's leading medical professors, and they really can't be ignored. Not if you want free and open debate. And many others, some we've had the privilege of talking to on this channel, but leading medics and academics and professors around the world, and legal expertise as well. It's just a few of the people there that have signed this letter. I mean, when people of this calibre are writing to the Prime Minister simply can't ignore it. And if these products are suspended or banned in Australia, then other countries around the world have got serious questions to answer. They've got serious questions to answer now, they're just choosing not to answer them. So I really feel the Australian Prime Minister has to answer this in a significant way, and we look forward to that. And well, I'm going to leave that there for now. That's the main essence of what I wanted to talk about. We'll come back and look at the evidence in more detail, but for now, download the letters for yourself. They're in the public domain. Tweet them, retweet them, do whatever you want, and let's get people around the world debating this, because we want, let me read this from Mr. Broadbent's site. I'll just maybe show you some of his, this is an excellent video. We might use some of that later. That's the letter, and this is Mr. Russell Broadbent here, and as we see, his constituency is Monash, where this Moderna factory is scheduled to start chucking out. As far as I remember, it's about 100 million doses of mRNA products per year. So we want free and open scientific discourse. So we want free and open scientific discourse. The brains around the world exist. Emancipate them, liberate them to do their job, and get rid of all this secrecy and political and economic intrigue. Thank you for watching.